All right, all right. Is this thing working? Hello, hello. Where's all right? Come on, burner account. Let's do it. Let's do it. Burner account. You're not. You're being too slow. Come on, guys. Everything good? Video, sound good? We good? Loud and clear. Thank you, burner account. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And then Matt's like, "It looks good." All right, cool. Adam, it's time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, this should be a good show tonight. My little itty bitty show. It should be good. I mean, come on, it's Matt Blackmer. Oh man, has like a 10-minute delay. I don't know why there's a 10-minute delay. I don't know. I wish I could fix all that, but I can't. All right, so let's turn this off. All right, I think we're good. Let's start the show. Screw it. I mean, am I right? I think I'm right. Let's start it. Let's go. All right. It is Tint'er Tuesday. That's right. Live right here on Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. All the above. And tonight, well, I think it's going to be a great show. Honestly, I'm actually sweating, and I don't even know why. And I think it's just because this guy's more famous than than me. I'm like sweating. I'm sweating. Like when the little fans go to the concerts and they're like, "Oh my gosh." Whatever. All right, we're gonna get this thing going. It's so stupid. Let's do sponsor Starlit Tint out there in southern Idaho. Go give him a follow. Tell him I said hi, and check out all the content he's putting out. He is absolutely killing it. One of my good friends out there, so go check it out. Don't forget, guys, Gasca Pro Tools. Y'all want some of the best tools? I know it's probably not the best thing for me to say because Matt's on here, but oh well. Gasca Pro Tools, go to gasprotools.com. Tell Rodney I sent you, and don't forget to use your discount code Tint'er3. And yeah, there you go. Fill up your cart. gasprotools.com. And then we also have California Tint Academy out there in Modesto, California. If you want to learn how to tint, you know someone that wants to learn how to tint. If you're a shop owner and wants to send a installer to get just a little fine tune, right here, California Tint Academy. Probably something else that Matt's probably going to give me shit about because he does training also, but that's all right. California Tint Academy, go check it out. CaliforniaTintAcademy.com. And come on, do I really need to say anything about this? TintWiz, tintwiz.com. Download your free trial. Wow, I don't know what that was. Did someone chime on me? I don't know what that was. That you, Matt? Did you chime? Did you hear that? He's not gonna answer. I don't know what that was. Anyways, tintwiz.com, free trial, 30 days, no credit card needed. If you guys don't know what TintWiz is, you've been living under a rock. Plain and simple. Okay, there you go. Shout out. All right. Woo, man. It's either really. Everybody else heard it too. Adam said he heard it. I don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't touch buttons. I didn't do shit. So I don't know. Live stream. All right. So my guest tonight, Matt Blackmer. Let me tell you, this guy's been tinting for quite a long time. He started doing live streams, content, training, all that kind of stuff. The guy's phenomenal. He's got 123 followers on TikTok, and he's got 197 subscribers to his YouTube channel. So for someone like this to be on my little itty bitty show means a lot. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Matt in here. If I can touch buttons here. And maybe. Hold on. All right. Here we go. Matt Blackmer in the hot seat tonight. Tint'er Tuesday Live. Here we go.
Whoa.
What's up, Matt? How are you doing?
People are going to be confused. They don't know where I am.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
good.
when you came on, I was like, oh, he's not at a shop, he's at home. Nice.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even really think of that. Yeah, this is very different. Usually I'm at the shop with everything, so it's past closing. I'm home now. And that's kind of how it goes.
I don't blame you one bit. I would close up shop and go home immediately. But anyways, Matt, dude, I can't thank you enough. Welcome to my little itty bitty show. It's not nothing to the scale of you, but we still have fun on the show, and I appreciate you taking time out and being on here. So
Oh, it's all good. No, I enjoy this kind of stuff. I mean, I wouldn't really. I don't know. I'm a nutcase about everything window tinting, so I kind of pay attention to all this stuff anyways. So it's all fun. I
cool.
appreciate anybody that's doing content and stuff in window tinting. It's really tough.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Um,
Oh.
I wish I could keep up with it a little bit more, but it's all good. Uh, Wait, who's why? Someone said you're Central Time. It's already 8. No, you're. Are you Central or Eastern? I thought you were Eastern.
I'm Eastern. It's
Yeah,
9.
you're Eastern. Yeah. That's what I thought.
What time zone are
Anyway,
you?
I'm Mountain Time, so it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 7.
Oh, for some reason I thought you
Oh,
were in Florida.
oh gosh, if I was, I'd be at the beach right now. I wouldn't be doing the show.
That's fair.
Anyways, well, Matt, I tell you what, let's do this. I know probably the majority of people watching now already know who you are and what you do. But for anybody that doesn't know, or anybody that watches this afterwards, you want to just kind of give a rundown of who you are, where you're located, and what you're doing?
Yeah. So my name is Matt. I've been tinning for about 15 years now. I got started at my dad's company. It was Ameristar at the time, and I didn't even intend on getting into window tint. We had a window tinter quit very suddenly, and he needed somebody to tint, so he brought somebody in to train me. And at the time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going to aviation mechanics school, working as a detailer, then started getting training in window tint, and I just kept doing it really ever since. And I liked YouTube, so I got into YouTube, and then things just kind of snowballed into what it is today. A lot of things didn't really click though until like the last maybe like 4 or 5 years or so. So it's just trial and error, figuring stuff out, and yeah, things have grown really a lot in the past like 3 years, especially, which is crazy.
And how long you been doing the content on YouTube now?
I think my first video is in 2011. So I started YouTube a long time ago. And that at the time felt like I was getting to YouTube late already because YouTube was out since like 2005, I think is when it first came out, and then got bought by like Google. Um, and then just, there was already channels that were really big. I thought I was cool. And then I just started making videos, but I was like itty bitty channel at the time. And then just the entire platform has grown like crazy. So I, I still think it's got a long ways to go.
It's I've been I've I've watched things on YouTube. I've never really like been like a subscriber or anything, and I always thought YouTube was just like, I don't know, just silly things. And then over the years, I'm like, no, man, people are actually putting real content to teach and
Hmm.
show, and it totally turned over the years. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I actually like made the whole account and started kind of watching people and stuff. Um, and then whenever I decided to kind of move the show from Instagram over to YouTube, uh, I'm like you, right? You were at the beginning. I'm like, dude, I'm so like this, but I was just like, I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not doing it for anything other than that. That's it. I do this once a week. I have fun with it, and that's about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. YouTube. What was really surprising was I was making videos. I didn't know what would come from it, and then I started getting messages and emails and stuff like a good year and a half, 2 years into making videos, and there were people that were saying like, "Hey, I started my business because of your videos," and that is definitely still like the case today. And coming back from like that GeoShield event, that was really cool to actually meet a lot of people in person too, and have, the channel's been out for so long at that point that you have people that are at least like 10 years plus into window tinting that are like, yeah, I got my start because you were making videos and stuff. So all that kind of stuff was really, really cool to be able to talk to those people in person and stuff.
What's it like when people say those things to you? I mean, is that something that you're just like mind blowing? I mean, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's one of the reasons that I still take the teaching aspect of it really seriously. Because with content, it's very tough. You can do things for entertainment, you can do things for education, but it's kind of hard to combine both of them together. And with window tinting, it's window tint doesn't really change very much. So trying to figure out some interesting spin on it to bring it to a bigger audience and show more people and just kind of get them interested in it is always a challenge. So, but it really is amazing to hear people that have literally like had whatever job that they had before, got interested. I think I saw Cash in the chat, top tint
Yep.
service now. I got to talk to him for a long time at the Geo event, and he's got like a 26,000 square foot building. He does wholesale, or he's got a tire distribution company. He's got all these bays and stuff. He's got plenty of space, and he's got a successful business in something completely different. And then he made these two fancy ass bays for window tinting, and he took it upon himself to started watching my channel around like COVID, and then now he is doing full-time window tinting at his own business. And it's just so cool to see that, just from watching videos and stuff, that you can make a really good career for yourself. So that's always really extra special to see. It's one of the reasons why I still focus on window tinting versus going into just pure entertainment, because I constantly hear back from people that they're starting their own businesses. And that's, to me, more meaningful than just making silly videos and stuff.
Yeah, I was watching one of your lives. Gosh, I think it was last week or the week before, and what was it? It was probably like 2 weeks ago when I hit you up and asked you on the live if you would do the show. And I saw a couple of comments of people coming in going, I started my window tinting business because of watching you and stuff. And I'm like, man, these people are freaking badasses. I mean, for them to, let's be honest, it's hard to really learn. Why is it doing that? It's really hard to learn, through video, right? Hands-on is way better. We all kind of know that. But to see all these guys and gals that are sitting there saying, I started my business because of watching your videos. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, that's insane. I learned because I was just thrown into it. I was like, here's a roll of film and here's a knife, have fun. And I'm like, okay, and trial and error. When I started, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have social media, we didn't have all this. So to see these guys be able to do it from social media is really fascinating to me, because I didn't have it. It was trial and error. It was like, if you fucked up, you learned and go, well, I'm not going to do that again, right? You didn't have the teachability from someone else. So, I mean, hats off to you for doing all this, because I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, when I was learning, I mean, I had a real forgiving environment because my dad brought in somebody to teach me how to tint, and he was there for probably like a month, maybe two, over the course of like a good chunk of the summer. It was his business partner's son that knew how to do window tinting. So I learned a lot of what I know from him, and then learning a lot of what not to do with other people that he would bring in to try and like help with the tinting. And so I got a good chunk of my experience from that. And at the time I was really into like the forum groups and stuff. So you had like the Tint Dude forums, and the Facebook groups were kind of just starting out. Mm-hmm. So there was a few resources, but a lot of them were pretty toxic. So there, for the resources that were there, most people were always putting down new people and beginners. And I just kind of put my head down and tried to ignore as much of that noise as possible. And I just kept making videos. So, and it's now there's like a huge amount of people that have gone in the opposite direction, and the communities are a lot more supportive. So I'm really happy to see that kind of stuff.
And I agree. I think some of these Facebook groups that are out there now, you see, like you were saying, someone new, and they would either ask a question or post a picture and go, what am I doing? And you'd see so many of the old school guys, just crack on them and give them hell, and
Yeah.
and shame them. And it's like, you know what? We all started at that point at one time. No one just kind of woke up and said, "Oh my gosh, I can tint," And
Hmm.
I like you. I steer away from that stuff. I do because um, I just I kind of want to vent off and be like, you know, you were there too. But then I'm like, I don't want to stir the pot, so I always just kind of back off. I keep my mouth shut. But I
Yep.
hate seeing that.
Yeah, that's why I have my own Facebook group, because it was born out of being frustrated. It's like, all right, if you guys are going to be this way over here, I'm just going to make my own playground, and whoever wants to come join that, they can. But I'm gonna pretty like I'm still in some of the other groups, but I generally just stick to my own things. Just not even just for the no type of like control over it, just because like it's just a more positive type of environment. There was a lot less toxicity,
Yeah.
and you can kind of cultivate that kind of environment. So we grew it from a lot of positivity, new people, and that's kind of how it's carried over into today. So we started that culture really, really small, and it's grown quite a lot over the years too.
And that Facebook group is called what now?
Window tint stuff.
Window tint stuff. And
Yep.
that's is it a private or public group?
No, it's a public group. Yep.
Public group. Okay.
Anybody and everybody can join and ask whatever. Like we have people asking about, hey, I had a tint job done. Would this be acceptable? Which will drive a lot of
Oh
experienced
yeah.
window tinters crazy. But the thing is, like, there's no. It's the way the internet functions, though. You can't design a group that's like, oh, this is for customers only, and this is for exclusive. Like you could to some extent do private groups that are a lot more closed down, but if you're trying to reach new people, you have to leave things public and open and kind of like broad appeal that
Yep.
keeps stirring the pot a little bit, and that's what's going to bring in new people. So you gotta kind of take a little bit of the good with the bad there, where you're going to have a lot of basic questions and stuff like that. That's just part of it.
Yeah, it's just a thin line of balancing it out, and it's super hard to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's it's not easy. It's not easy. Um, I want to. Okay, so you've got your own shop. Um, what's the average? What's the average, or what's the word I'm looking for? What's your basic run of the mill day at your shop? Like, what's a day in the life of Matt Blackmer at the shop? How does that go?
I, I slug into work at about 9:45. I don't open till about 10 o'clock. I've been trying to do a little bit earlier, but I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person. I'm more of a morning person now that I have my son, but so I schedule things a lot more loose than the ways I used to have to do regular work days. So the way they used to happen was, you go in at 9, you tint as many cars in a day, but because of the channel, I have to put actual time into setting aside time to making videos or doing the live streams, or then we have stuff with the store. I have to get back to people, emails and other things. So there's just a lot of small stuff that take up extra time. So I get in there about 10, little before 10 for my first appointment, and then that'll run till about maybe like 1:30, and then I'll have typically another appointment after that. So it's a pretty like easygoing day as far as window tinting goes, but when you're trying to mix content into it, it goes by super quick. So that's why I always need like that extra time. If I can just put on headphones and work, then I can get a lot more just cars done in the day, but then the channel gets completely ignored. And that's like the weird balance that I have to take nowadays. Is just now that it's summertime, it's like, oh, I just have a lot more phone calls. I have a lot more opportunities to pull in more jobs. And then I look at what, like saw a couple of comments like, where's your YouTube videos been for the past month? And it's like, well, now we've got a lot of effort putting into TikTok as well. So I'm trying to figure out a good balance between everything. It's really hard to do because I actually don't have a great way of teaching people in person either. Because if you're the one that's always doing content on the cars that you're pulling in, it doesn't leave you time to actually teach somebody. So for as much teaching as I do online and whatnot, I don't do hardly like any teaching in person. So, but my days typically go in about 10, do a couple of appointments, and then during that time we'll either pick to shoot a video. So if a customer has dropped off a car, because that's another thing, if a customer is waiting on their car, I always feel that little pull there. It's like I don't want to waste their entire day. If it's the full thing with a full windshield, then they're just sitting up front waiting for me to get done with the car. Like they're nice, they're patient, but still, if I'm gonna take like 5.5 hours with this car because I want to do some video, like they're just waiting on it. So I always feel
Yeah.
pressure there. I don't like so every car that I pull in is not really I think it's a content opportunity, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, this is just a car I actually have to do. Or then you run into an issue where you screw up the windshield, and then you have to start over, and then you just lost a bunch of time, and so you always have those like pressures behind whatever you're trying to do. So it's always a balancing act between them. But so we'll either pick to do a video, or we'll pick to do a live stream, or I have those days where I still just want to focus on tinting. And then I'll wrap up probably about, I'm out of there by probably about 4 o'clock or so. And then I just have family stuff after that. So, my wife is watching my son all day. Sometimes she comes to the shop and she'll help with like orders and whatnot. But he's a handful. He's running around all over the place. He, always grabbing for your attention. So when I'm doing a live stream and she brings him to the shop, it's like I want to be able to help her out with him, but then at the same time, it's like you just got to focus on the show too. So there's a lot of balancing there.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do everything you do. I mean, I do a lot. Trust me, I do. But you've definitely got me beat. I don't know if I could keep up with that. So credit to you for that. Let's talk about the store. So you've got tools and everything available. You've got a website for tools. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I saw too at the beginning sponsors. I don't care. It's all good. um, with Gasket Pro, I know there's a lot of other tool shops and stuff like that. What I like about mine is I'm not trying to carry everything. I'm actually like it was started as a hub to be able to support what I was doing, and we kind of did that with the launch of the Glass Aid, the cut protector. And then I added some tools, but I pretty much just add what I use because I get asked all the time, like, what do you use? And so there aren't a whole lot of things to pick from, but if you see me use it on the stream, a lot of times you can find it at my store. And I just found it's a great way to help support the store. And then in trying to solve like a lot of my own problems, like covering the door panels, taping the side seals. It's like I figured there was already products to deal with a lot of these things, but either the prices go up or the products aren't that good. So then we end up coming out with our own iterations of them. And then we have stuff like the Tri-Edge X, which has like the Detroit Tint Studio logo on it. Jay from, hang on one sec.
You're good.
Hey, Meebo. Hey, I know. You just take him over there. Thank you.
Oh,
See,
the joys of being a parent.
That's what makes it really tough. Is he'll come up to you and he'll just go, But yeah, we had the collab with Tri-Edge, which was just like completely out of the blue. He's like, I like what you do. you use our tools all the time. Is there anything that we could do? And then we came out with the Green Tri-Edge X's. Um, so every once in a while, there's just stuff like that that just seems to pop up, and I don't even necessarily go out of my way for some of that stuff in terms of just like looking for it. But yeah, the store has kind of evolved into being its own like really cool, unique place that helps support everything that I do.
I think it's fantastic, and I love the fact that I mean, yeah, I use Gas Pro tools. I do. I love his stuff, and you know I'm always going to support him. But I love the fact that like what were you're talking about is what you use on a daily basis and in your videos and your content and lives and everything like that. Uh, that stuff is available on your store,
Yeah,
so it's a win-win. So when people do ask, I think that's a fantastic idea. So hats off to you for that. I mean that can't be super easy to do. I mean you got orders coming in, you got to get them out, you got product coming
hmm
in, you got to keep track of everything. So I mean it's
yeah,
really another job.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So I have somebody that's helping out with that. He's been with
Oh,
me
good.
for over a year, but the unfortunate bit is he's going down to college in the fall, so I'm gonna have to try and find somebody else all over again. And yeah, the store's grown quite a bit. All the small stuff, it's not bad when you have a couple things, but as it starts to scale, inventory gets out of hand, orders like just packing. Yeah, oh yeah, it takes time to put all that together.
Yeah.
So it's a full-time job now just to kind of hang out there and make sure all the orders get packed and everybody gets taken care of. And we make sure that we have stuff, hey, this is running low. We have to reorder these and whatnot. It's like before you know it, it's like when I live stream, that's probably the biggest time sink for me, where I'm just like emails, phone calls, it all just kind of gets put over here, and then I have like 4 hours or 3 hours where I'm live streaming, and then I come back to Earth and I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta get all this stuff together. So it's hard to do everything, but it's still kind of set up in a way where it's manageable enough. But yeah, it's definitely grown a lot.
That's good. That's good. And then I mean go ahead, dude. I mean what's the website?
Oh, the website's 313tint.com.
There you go. All right. So if you guys need some tools and you guys want the ones that Matt uses, there you go. Go check it out. Order something. Why not? Let's talk about. Let's. We were kind of talking about this, but I just thought it'd be fun to kind of bring it up. Is what it's like answering some of the comments and stuff like that when you're doing lives. Like, what's that like?
hmm That's fun. It's yeah. You were asking about repeat questions because it depends on the audience that you're hitting, but it's really not bad when you can kind of take a step back and go, everybody's coming in at a different time, and you could easily look at it where you get frustrated and go like, oh, don't these people know? Well, they don't. You are the most convenient thing that they are asking. That's why they're
Yep.
asking it there. So you have to kind of always take a step back and understand that there's new people cycling in and out all day long. So the more people that you can kind of answer, the better off that you're going to be. It does get repetitive, but it also becomes really fun. So sometimes I'll get asked like, "Hey, does that go on the outside?" Well, every stream I'll get asked that a whole bunch, but then you kind of like lean into those things too. So you can make jokes of all the comments and stuff as they're coming in too, and just kind of lean into everything. But yeah, it does get repetitive, but the more you do it, I think the more used to it that you end up getting. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you're not the one to kind of answer those questions, they're going to get those answers from somebody else. So it's just the more helpful that you can be. That's something that I've taken into consideration a lot actually lately, is just actually going out of my way as much as possible to try and answer as many questions as we possibly can. And I'm seeing like a big shift. Well, it might not even be a big shift, but there's a bit of a shift in the way that I've been thinking about helping people. Is like the traditional way is like having a school, having some sort of like structure to what you're doing, but that's not the way that most people learn. Most people learn in bits and pieces scattered around. So like some people will go out of their way to like sign up for a course. And I think it's most beneficial if you go through like some sort of structured thing that shows you all the pieces. But to be honest, like there's people that are like watching stuff in Facebook and whatever things are coming in at their feed all day long. So then they're going to have those random questions and they're going to ask them when they see those pieces of content or whatever. So the more things that you can set up to answer those questions when they have them, you're just kind of like knocking down those barriers across like, oh, you have to go out of my way, or you have to go out of your way to hear, or you have to go to, but no, you can just like come right to them and answer any questions wherever they are. So that's honestly a big focus for this year.
That's awesome. I think that's going to work out really fantastic. What the way you're doing things now is great. I do have one personal question: is when you're doing the TikTok live, how are you able to hear the comments? What are you using?
Oh, I'm using a headset. So I will usually have one earbud in, and I have a text to speech. I just YouTube this. There's a couple of good videos. It's called Tickfinity. It's just a web app, and you can connect to any live stream. And it basically, you know, like you got all the overlays and stuff for Restream. It's basically a layer for you to add alerts and stuff to your TikTok live streams, because TikTok doesn't really have a good way of handling that. And one feature that they have is text to speech. And they actually have quite a few options for rearranging what you want to listen to. But I found the most effective way of handling people's questions is to literally drive yourself crazy by having a nonstop feed of every comment that comes in. So it's just nonstop question, 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 question. But I'll turn the volume down to about halfway so I can kind of listen to them. But when I'm talking over what I'm listening to. But that's going on the entire time. It's a bit of like being on a phone call, except the person on the other end never stops talking.
I don't think I could do that. I really don't, because you know, it's kind of like this. Like when I'm working and I'm on the phone with the customer, and you know they're like, "Hey, where is this?" or "Can you show me how to get to here on the website and whatever?" And I almost like I have to be able to do one thing and then talk, one thing and then talk. I'm not really good at having to be able to talk over someone talking to you and then trying to decipher what the question was. That would be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. I can't do it.
It's definitely a lot, and the technical side of it too, for YouTube especially, was pretty complicated. Because I would try and do alerts and stuff like that. So you have to like reroute your audio in certain ways so things would play for your stream that you didn't necessarily hear. And then I always had to have my headphone hooked up to the computer. So especially in the beginning, there's like a world of technical issues that you're also trying to manage while you're just tending a regular customer's car, and you're also streaming and answering questions. But eventually you work through all those answers, or all those problems. But
I would drive myself nuts.
I'm a bit of a tech geek when it comes to all of this. So it's like I've always liked building computers and messing around with this type of stuff. So like everything that I've done with like the live stream has been my outlet for all of that. Like I always need a purpose for, like, I don't just want to build a fast computer to have a fast computer. I want something to do with it. So with all this crazy tech stuff, it's kind of like, oh, I'm trying to do this. What kind of fun things are out there to make that happen? So I'll find all these little things that exist, and like usually there's enough to hobble it all together to make whatever I'm trying to do work. So it's been fun.
Crazy. Wow. Well, I mean, you're doing well. You're doing it right, and you're doing it well. And
But
it shows.
some of the stuff that, like, so I don't know if you saw the video of, I'm sure you've seen the headset at this point, but I had a video breakdown of what I was using for the headset. And when I got it in, my wife was like, she just shook her head like, no, you're not going to wear that. And it's literally Haas knows. I see him in the chat. He knows. He's got one too. We had a little group discussion, and the next thing you know, it's like we're trying to figure out how to do it without those kinds of things, and he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get it." So it's a big HDMI transmitter. So it's literally a budget Hollywood monitoring solution. So you would have this strapped to a camera, so you could have a live video feed. So I put that on my head. I've got a battery bank that powers both, like a GoPro and that, and it's just like those are the only things that exist to make this work. So I just got to do whatever I can to make it work, because making it as seamless as possible is really, really important.
Yeah, no, I'm not that tech savvy. Not when it comes to this kind of stuff at all. I mean, I could do some things, but this, no. I'm still learning this, and I've been doing this for a year, and I'm still finding like little things, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know I could do that. It's like,
Uh,
I didn't just sit on YouTube and research how to stream on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, it was just download things, and then
Oh, I did.
how to do
I
that.
was so during my downtime while I'm tinting, I'm always trying to learn stuff. So I am just constantly playing videos about algorithm stuff, whether it be like discussing YouTube as a platform, TikTok as a platform. There's some creators I really like listening to. And then when it comes to like learning about cameras, like there's so many videos about any camera that comes out. So then I'm just playing camera videos nonstop, and I got a bunch of time to kill while I'm tinting a car. So that's where, like, I think for probably about 3 months straight, I was playing anything and everything about live streaming. So, like, Harris Heller's YouTube channel about how to set up your live stream overlays, all this stuff. Like, I just consume all that while I'm working. So
I probably
it's fun for me.
I probably need to watch a few more and really kind of pay attention, but then I'm like, I'm afraid to even like change any of the settings because I'm afraid I'm gonna fuck it up. So I'm just like,
No, it's
it
true.
works, leave it.
Once it starts working, don't mess with it too much. But yeah, no, what you
Yeah.
got going on here is actually pretty legit. Restream is one of the platforms that I use as well. I find it really handy. So I download the desktop app, and that's what I use for my text to speech for YouTube. So that robot voice playing all day.
Oh man, and maybe one day when you have some free time, which I know it's probably going to be a while, but I would definitely like to pick your brain on a couple of things with the restream.
Okay.
But we won't worry about it now. Just someday when you have some free time, and I'll hit you up. But anyways, um, uh, I gotta ask this question. What's it like when you walk into uh like a window film event or a shop, or if you go out and you're noticed, do you just get bombarded, or is it just kind of like,
No.
I'm just
I
curious?
mean,
I
at
mean,
the GeoShield event, I had people coming up to me like the whole time. But going anywhere and everywhere that I normally go, I don't get recognized. I remember walking into, like, there were some auto shops that I walked into where I would have like one of the installers recognize who I was. But it's been a long time since I've really been to like any other events and stuff. And that's because we had my son. So like with the IWFA event, and then the Tint'er battles, like we were out of the country at the time. I really wanted to go to that Tint'er battle event because it was set up perfect for a family too. Being where it would have been really fun to go there. But with everything else going on, I don't get out as much as what I wanted to before. But there's enough stuff going on here, and I'm live and doing content and stuff all the time. But I'd say it's pretty, like, the GeoShield event was definitely like a pretty cool once in a long time type of thing, where it's just like there's a lot of people that have, if you're familiar with GeoShield, then chances are you've seen videos and stuff like that. So just hearing stories and talking to people, seeing where they're at in their life was really, really fun. And then beyond that, it's a lot of normal day-to-day stuff. To be honest, like, my channel is fairly, it's big for a window tinting channel for sure. But into the grand scheme of all the internet stuff, there's so many things coming out. It's constantly trying to figure out little things that you can do to make your videos kind of stand out and stay a little bit more relevant in an industry that doesn't really change all that much. So like with TikTok, some people are asking what's going on with YouTube. With TikTok, TikTok is just like the way that they serve video and the way that they serve live streaming is just hitting such a broad audience right now. It's a really interesting opportunity. So that's why we've been putting so much effort there right now. With that and short form, it's just hitting like crazy. It's the type of audience that I used to hit with my early YouTube videos when there just wasn't a lot of like long format stuff. So it still takes us time to make one of those videos. Like some of them we can turn around within a couple of hours, and some of them we'll literally set aside like 4 to 6 hours to try and figure out like how to shoot a minute long video, just to make sure like we hit all those beats right on explaining pretty well what you're trying to do before you even start getting into it. So like trying to make a relatable moment for the person that's watching, because they're just cycling through videos. There's so much stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm guilty. Whenever I have some downtime or whatever, I sit there and flip through, and I know exactly what you mean. Hey, look who it is.
It's Luke.
Well, let's just shift it real quick. Um, so you don't really do a whole lot outside of work, right? I mean, because you're constantly doing this, and then you're also a dad.
Yeah.
So, tell us about family. You're married, and you said
Yeah.
that 2-year-old, correct?
Yeah, he's 2.5 now. Probably
Okay.
a little over that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And
So I'm
then,
married. We had him during COVID, which was fun. So like in February or March is when we found out, like 2020 was when we found out she was pregnant. And then at the time, I was literally just getting things started from a home garage. So I didn't have my shop. I was doing mobile work, um, live streaming and video. We were like, obviously, I was doing video, but I was testing live streaming and it was working out pretty well. So I took the live streaming to one of the shops that I was working at. And then my idea was I just wanted to keep things at home. So I was I was picking up some jobs taking from a home garage. And then one day I got a notice from the city saying that you're not allowed to do that. So, uh, talked to them, whatever, like later on, got another notice saying that you had to stop. So then I immediately started looking for a shop. That was probably like 4 or 5 months into it. Like things were going well at home, and then all of a sudden I had to find a shop, and I did not want to do a shop at all. I always felt like whatever I could do it at somebody else's shop, or I could do it at home. Because when you're trying to make a whole tint business to run your content stuff, it's like that is going to take up way too much time. You have to be open during, like, I felt like you had to be open during regular hours, all this other stuff. So what really surprised me was just trying to work with other shops, trying to do the regular day-to-day stuff. Those things never really mix because content just takes too long. So then I found a shop really quick, kind of just jumped into it. I was super nervous, but I'm glad I did it because now we added classes. I didn't do that for about like a year after I opened up the shop, and I slowly started improving, like, the showroom area, cleaned it up more. We painted the walls. We kind of dressed up the place more, and those are things that slowly happened over time. But yeah, we we had him during COVID, and then October is when I moved into the shop. So it's like he wasn't even born yet, and then we were like trying to get a shop going and stuff like that all at the same time. But the channel and things from home were going really well, that it's like I had a little momentum there. So I knew any time that I was down was gonna kill me in momentum. So I just like jumped into a shop, found a space as quick as I could, and then it didn't even matter that it was pretty clean when I moved in overall, but we just kind of got things going because you don't like, all that stuff can happen over time. Just like keep the content going, and then it's turned into something really really cool.
I think the shop looks fantastic. There was one live that you did, and you showed the lobby and your display boards and stuff like that, and you got the lights around it and stuff. I think it looks fantastic. So
Yeah, that turned out really nice. It was very scary for about a year for customers when they walked in because like it was dingy brown carpet. It was like olive off color looking walls, and then there was like, you know, remnants from whoever was in there before. It looked kind of scary. So my shop is like, it doesn't have a front door. It's around the back corner of a building. So you like drive around back behind this building, and then you go into this back door area, and then you to see all like it, you know, dingy lighting and stuff like that. You're like, am I in the right place? This looks a little different from his videos. Because I put more effort into like where I was doing the videos and stuff. That was like priority. That's what people are going to see. And then they're already there at my shop, so they're probably not going to leave. So whatever it looks like at the time, I can get by with. But then a year into it, as things were growing, then we ended up redoing the whole showroom area. So I didn't actually have somebody come in. Me and my wife figured out how to do flooring. We repainted the walls. We replaced the lighting, and we just spent probably about like half a week doing all that.
Wow.
So yeah, turned out it's a little rough, but you know, it looks good overall.
It worked out just fine. And for you to have to do all this, you know, during COVID was probably even worse, just because of, you know, restrictions and all those kind of things that you had that we all had to go through at that time.
Yeah.
So, man, holy cow! Well, you got one hell of a freaking story, man. Oh, geez, dude. Like, we're at the 51-minute mark, and I'm like, dude, I could sit here and like learn so much, but I don't want to keep you forever. So, so let's do this. Let's just kind of, we'll bring the chats in real quick.
Yeah, man.
And if you guys have any quick questions, quick. Notice how I said quick. And let's see what if anybody's wanted to say anything.
The film trainer, what's up? He came by. Marco, we had a good time with Marco. Oh my god. We got some stories from that. That was the one where we shot the windshield when he was with Matico at the time. Yep. Oh my god, that was so fun. I think he got a good perspective of what it's like to film content there, because we were there, like we had a whole day set aside for that video, and it's still like we just barely pulled it all together.
Let's see here. I think you already said this. Yeah, what year did you start tinning?
It was like 2008, 2009, something like that, right in that time frame. So I didn't even realize the house market crash was going on. I didn't really realize what was going on with that. But my parents had like lost their house, and then so me and my brother, we you know, we were already a little older at the time though. So we had to get an apartment, and then they lost their house, and then that's when I started tinning.
Then let's see here. How many you training at a time now?
We had 10 people at the last class, and we could have. What's crazy is we could have had more, or like we had more demand there, which was really cool to see. But my younger brother, I have him. I have two brothers. Well, I have three brothers, but I have two brothers that window tint. One that's older than me, and one that's younger than me, and they are at my dad's shop. So my dad has a company over in Dearborn Heights. He's not a window tinter, but he has an auto accessories company. So it was the Ameristar, but that went bankrupt during the housing market crash, and now it's Auto Tint City. So my early YouTube videos were all done out of his shop. So I had my brothers come over and help me run the class, which is really, really cool to have that opportunity.
Wow. Okay. What was the first vehicle you ever tinted, and how did it go?
So after some training, my first vehicle was one of those stupid rounded Tauruses, and it took me about 6.5 hours. And it looked like shit, probably. But yeah, the little ones that you had like the little 5 mil behind the speaker to take out. I hated those. We had those all the time. Those were my worst cars to get regularly.
I think we've all had those first cars where we can actually sit back and go, yeah, that looked like shit. But who's your favorite mod in the Facebook group?
Who's your favorite mod? I appreciate it. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, we got a couple of good mods, and I picked the mods just because they were like always going out of their way to help people. That was always really cool. So I didn't like put up a post looking for mods. Everybody was just already helping out, so I was just like, hey, you guys want to be mods?
There you go. Easy job. Is it as smoky on your side of Michigan as it is on Eric's side?
Dude, I thought it was just fog today. What the hell? I didn't realize until later. We just went out again to like run some errands. Yeah, it's foggy outside right now. It doesn't smell bad, but yeah, the wildfires actually like finally hit us in this area, so it's foggy.
Let's see here. Where would you like to be in the next 5 to 7 years? Oh, that's a good question.
That
Ooh, I
is a
like
good
that.
question. I used to never know the answer to that. I have it like God, a little while ago. I looked at all the content that I did because I was all over the place. I was doing like some videos like this. I was doing some vlogs. I was doing some teaching. I didn't really have any structure with any of it. And then I'm like, if there was some content thing that you could do for the next 5 years, what would it be? And it was the live streaming stuff. So that was that was honestly probably about 5 years ago now. Maybe a little, maybe like four. But the next 5 to 7 years, I think right now is just putting a little bit more structure and stuff behind, putting a little bit more support behind a lot of the help that we're doing because we have the Facebook group, which is doing awesome. We have a Reddit group right now, which is really starting to take off. The TikTok is doing really well. So it's like I just want to figure out how to support all those things a lot better and just make this that along with what we're doing on the store just kind of all fit together really well. That's going to be like easily the next 5 to 7 years is focusing on all that.
When's the next class?
The next one's in July. Info is on 313tint.com. I need to set dates for August and September because we're going to have class for both months. I kind of push off dates until I get closer to those months so I know for sure that like those are locked in. As soon as somebody books one spot for that date, like it's set. Nothing's going to change. Nothing can change. And we'll have that class regardless if we have 1 people or 10 people. So I just want to make sure that I'm pretty aware of what dates that we're going to do. So July right now, info's on the site.
Nice. Favorite car to tint?
Malibus. I want Malibus all day long.
Really?
I
Really?
would fucking love Malibus, man. Yeah. I had so many in a row one day. It was amazing. It's just like the 2016 and up, whatever, newest body style Malibus. They're so straightforward. Everything with the windshield. You could give me that car every day of the week, and I'd be so happy. I'm like, because I'm charging the same. Whether or not it's like an SUV right now or a car like that, I'm basically charging the same. So give me Malibus all day long.
I don't know, man. You give me an F-150 all day long, and I'm happy.
F-150s are good too. Yep, for sure. Yep, you could do those. Anything in that range.
What percentage do you prefer on a full windshield?
Right now 50, because I'm turning into an old man.
Oh, whatever. Shut up. Shut up.
I'm 35 now. I'm getting
I got
there.
10 years on you. I got 10 years on you. Don't even get that. That's a bunch of BS.
Well, when you go on TikTok, I'm definitely like a boomer now on TikTok for sure. But
and then, oh, go ahead.
yeah, with windshields though, I have my car tinted in 50. I used to drive around with like 35 on the windshield, but I set up my car to be as much of a demo car as possible. So I have 50 on the windshield, 35 on the front doors, 20 on the back, because those are the questions I get the most of. Like, what does 35 look like compared to 20? And then it's easy to show like, oh, 5 would just be like you can't see through it. And then 70 would be it's a clear windshield. 50 is those in betweens. Because I get a lot of people that don't know they can tint their windshield, or like, they're just like, oh, why would you put tint on a windshield? And then they see it and they're like, sold.
Sold. Yep. 100%. That's like an easy
Yeah.
sell. Easy
So
sell.
50, not trying to go too dark, and then those are the clients that I hit most of the time.
You get a lot of Silverados on the east side of the state?
Yeah. My shop's right near a where they build the Rams too. So being in like Michigan, Big Three, we have like the Chrysler plants. We have all the other ones too. So I get a lot of the Big Three right around where I am all the time. Yep.
Have you ever tried to snap shrink a front or back windshield with your actual technique? Ooh, that's a good one.
No, I've only ever done that on like smaller windows, like a truck flat or truck back window, something like that. I'm pretty straightforward about back windows or windshields, so I don't necessarily, I don't, I don't think there's much of a point to like try and make it any harder than it needs to be. So I'll just shrink it like normal.
Let's see here. What's the best software for a GraphTech FC 9000?
Fucking plotter software drives me nuts. I hate plotter software. I'm a
Oh,
huge tech geek, and plotter software drives me batshit crazy, man. Every software has drawbacks. Right now, best bang for your buck is going to be Film Cut at like $100 a month. Um, then up from there, I have to try Core. I think Core is probably the biggest competitor to market now that anybody has access to. Because otherwise, it's like you have software that is locked down. So like DAP, amazing patterns, just they said fuck you to everybody else and it's dealer only. It's like, okay, that's fine, but you're making this really tough to recommend people now. And then up from there, you've got what Solar Guard's Computer Cut, I think at like 250. So you have a good range. I would look at, center in on one of those things and just because you'd already know if you were Expo. So like Film Cut, Core probably, and then Computer Cut. I'd look into those options.
what about what is it? Tint'er? Is it Tint'er?
Tintec 2020, I used to use them. My dad's shop, they still use Tintec because they've been using it for so long. And they still have the same problems. Like they'll cut out new cars and patterns will be short, but they've been using it for so long they know how to modify the patterns. Like, oh, this car we need to make 2 or 3 clicks bigger, and then it would just make the pattern a little bit wider, a little bit taller, and it was usually decent enough.
If you don't mind me asking, how can I enroll and how much does your class cost? Sorry, I just logged in and not sure if you discussed this already. And how long is your class?
Yeah, the class is 3 days. 313tint.com has a lot of information. It's 1600 for the class, and it's all hands on. I this last class especially, I could see people getting tired. Like we're 9 a.m. We hit the ground running as fast as we can. Like we'll go over tools, we'll go over all the supplies. Like it comes with a basically everything that you see me use on stream is also what comes with the class. So like a 3-gallon tint keg, brass sprayer, hybrid squeegee, like good shit. And then you get to take all that home with you. So we learn about that stuff, and then immediately get into hand cutting and shrinking door windows. And then the next day is back windows and windshields, and the third day is kind of a flex day. So whatever you wanted to learn about in particular, like if you're struggling with back windows, we focus more on that. It's like we figure out what your weak points are, and we kind of make sure that you have enough time to go over anything that you wanted to go over. But it's all hands on, like the entire time. I'll talk your ear off about business while you're working on the car, anything and everything. It's just like overload window tinting stuff the entire time for 3 days straight. So yeah, 313tint.com has more questions. You can always call the shop and ask me questions about the class and whatnot too.
And I will say that is a really nice structure on how you're doing the classes.
Thank you.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, very well done.
Yeah, because I would hear some
Yeah.
people going to some classes and they would do everything off of plotters. Like we have a plotter system. I'll show you that if you want to take the time. But I think like you can take the time to learn a lot of the stuff through video. And then I have the live streams going as a support group too. So it's like if you have questions, ask me while I'm working on the car for all that normal stuff. And then while you're here, I think the most value is like getting those little critiques while you're shrinking. Like, hey, I don't know how my window looks this bad. What happened? It's like, okay, let's back up. Let's figure out what's going on. Those real-time corrections are the most helpful for people. That's what makes like 3 days sounds like a short amount of time until you're actually there doing all this stuff and you realize like you're missing a lot of basic things. Even though I've explained them 500 times over in every video and I'll talk about it all the time. It's just like I'll show people in person and then walk away for 2 seconds, come back and everything's messed up again. And we'll back up and we'll just keep repeating it over and over until they get it right. So
Yeah.
I noticed that like at classes, people just they need a lot of flexibility because there's some people that have been tinning for a couple months, some people that have maybe tinning for a year, and then just making it as available with like real world things. So we don't have any cars, we don't have any doors set up on stands. Everything is like literally like I have an Altima there, we have a Focus there, we have my Blazer, and then we pull in usually another car, and we just rotate people between everything. And it's like, no, back windows, windshields, like these are real cars that you would have to tint. Go at it. You're not going to fuck it up any worse than it is right now. So have
Right.
fun. Just go through a lot of film, and we make
Yep.
as much like they can waste as much film as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. The fact that you're using everyday cars, that's key. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Yep.
you can go to a class and they can have the same door, put it up on stands going across the side of the wall. And what are you
Yep.
going to do? You're going to learn off that one window, and then you're going to leave, and you're going to go, oh shit, I don't know how to do this window. And you can't get every car in a class, but if you have a
Yeah.
little bit more, the diversity of what your hands on, you start to grab those little things that you'll take from one window to the next, and then you'll learn something new. Take that, go to the next one. So it's very key. I love that. I love that. Yeah. So
Oh,
those little
yeah.
things on the walls.
And Cash said all two stage. So a lot of it is two stage because that's the way I usually tint. But I always go out of my way to talk to people and ask like, "Hey, are you familiar with taking door panels apart? How do you feel about that?" So my younger brother, he worked with a guy that would pull every seal. It didn't matter if he had to take off the entire door, if it made sense or not. No matter what, he was focused on always removing the seals. So my brother paid attention to what cars were easier and what cars were more difficult, and so he's got a good perspective on like how most things get taken apart. And I think that's really healthy to understand because there are those cars where you're going to have to pull the seal on it. And if you pull the seal, that makes the tinting portion easier, but then you have to figure out how to take the car apart. So it's not bad to take anything off or take the car apart. Like that's fine as long as it goes back. But we focus a little bit more on two staging because I feel like that makes tinting a little bit harder to understand, like not trying to confuse people, but it's like bottom loading, this is how it goes. So we'll show them and we'll let them play around with it. But you can learn that really easy in a video and stuff like that too. So again, we'll show people, make them know that it's available. But we focus on some of the things that are a little bit more complicated that you would have to watch multiple videos and try and figure that out.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't take every door panel apart.
Yeah,
there could be a bunch of liability on some of these, higher end cars. Like I'm sorry, I'm not taking a door panel off of a Bentley. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And that just kind of, it just kind of draws that line. Like, do you really want to go this way or do you want to go this way? I personally stage all day long. And it's so much easier for me, and it's less liability on me, and that's just me.
Yep.
And I'll get knocked for it. I don't care.
It's all about weighing your risk. So if on a Malibu, it's not hard for me to tint it without taking anything apart. So it might be easy to pull the seal, but if I can already tint it easily, I'm not going to bother taking the time to do that. But if it's a really complicated car where it would make sense to pull it, then yeah, I'll figure that out. But as soon as that price goes way up here where it's costing me more money to then fix the car if I hurt something, I'm not going to use their car as a playground to figure that out unless there's a real clear video that shows me everything that I need to know. It's like, okay, it's just a couple things, easy peasy. I'm not going to try and figure that out for myself, though.
I agree with you 100%. I am not taking a bunch of damn tools to a car and I'm just like, oh, I just ruined this. That's coming out of my pocket. So no, I agree. That's the way I look at it. And I always get knocked for it all the time. They're like, oh, you're a two-stager. And I'm like, I don't care. Still looks good. Customer's happy. I made my money. And less risk for me. That's just me. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So I think we're good on the questions. Let's drop that because I know I'm already running over time here because I told you like an hour and 15 minutes and I don't want to keep you any longer. All right.
Yeah,
so
they go quick.
Oh, dude, it just goes by like that. It's super fast. All right, so let's do some giveaways, and let me bring this up real quick. So,
Cool.
Louis with Film Pros Nation. He messaged me. Now, before anybody knocks any of this, he sent me pictures and he's like, "Hey, I want to give away 5 hats on the show with Matt." And I'm like, "Cool." He sent me pictures literally about 10 minutes before Matt came on. And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I was trying to add them to the restream and they were rotating. They weren't going up and down. So everything was like this. So I had to go in and switch them all. And then by the time I got everything added, now the picture is like this. So they look kind of funny. So it's Louie's fault, not mine. But this is what we're going to do. So let's see here. How should we do this? Matt, how would you like to do a giveaway on a hat? Do you want to do a question? Or you want to just throw out some numbers?
Yeah, we could throw out numbers.
Okay.
Oh, like a knowledge thing.
Or do you want to do like? Well, I was just.
I don't have everything else.
Like ask a question of something that you mentioned in the show, but that usually takes forever. So.
Oh no, let's just do numbers.
Yeah, let's just do this. So in the private chat, I'm just gonna bring that up so you can see it. So let's do this. Pick a number between. Let's just do quick things. 1 and 15. So if you'll just put a number in there, and then I'll bring the chats up real quick. And guys, when I say go, this is where it gets really fun. Perfect. All right, so pick a number between 1 and 15, guys. And all right. If you see someone mention that number, holler at me. Oh, never mind.
Just send stuff to Cash and Burner account.
Wow, everybody's just going completely around that number. There it is. Corey Ashby had it.
Oh, Corey.
Yeah.
He's got the tint rack.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think of that product?
I think it's cool. I think it's so simple and smart, and I was trying to think of something a long time ago, and I never thought to just like, oh yeah, you just put end caps that fit in the tint roll, and then it's cool. It's a cool system.
Oh, it's super, super, super cool. And then I fucked up. So Corey gets this one. Now, guys, the first 4 hats that were given away, these are not even released yet and not even on the website. So, Corey, you're going to get the first one.
Live by the blade, die by the blade.
Leave it to Film Pros to do this last minute. So I'm like, Louie, the show start. He's like, I know. I'm sorry. I was supposed to do it yesterday. All right, so Corey gets this one, which is the camo. Live by the blade, die by the blade. The next one, let's do this one. And Matt, if you'll throw a number up, we're also going to do 1 through 15. And whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'll type some like random numbers.
There you go. Perfect. All right, number between 1 and 15, guys. That's going to be the next hat. Let's go. David. David.
Nice job.
David gets the second one, which is the, oh gosh, where'd it go? This one here. The blue one. I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible so you can get back to your family here. Because, I mean, I can sit here and talk about business like all day.
That's true.
All right. Pick another number between 1 and 15. Go. That is for this hat right here.
This now.
Oh, you're going to do a different number?
Oh, no. You could do the next number of this one.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
However you want to do it.
Nope, you're good. 1 through 15, guys, go. Who's going to get it? Burner account gets it. It was number 6. Yeah, trying to do these are pretty crazy. Burner account gets this one right here. And we got 2 more to do. Next one. Oh my gosh, stop it. The next one is, well, not that one. Oh my gosh. I wish these pictures would have came in. So the next one is for this one. Pick it over between 1 and 15. Go. Start now, guys. I got your number already. You're good.
Oh, okay.
I got you. I'm trying to let you not need to have to do any work. 1 through 15, guys. Come on.
Sweet.
Yeah, you just relax, drink your coffee. George gets it. And that's the black Tint'er. All right, and then let's
cool.
do.
It's kind of like the Tesla logo almost.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll take that one off. All right, and then this is one of the originals, and Matt's already gave me the number, so pick a number between 1 and 15. Go, guys.
Yeah, those ones are cool. We have the GeoShield sent out, or he did a collab with GeoShield, and then we gave those away at the class too. So like, they would send out a lot of film and swag and stuff for the people that attended the class, which was super cool.
Hell yeah. 1 and 15, guys. That's the last number. I've got it right here. Matt's already got it in here. He's already got it. Sweet. Man, everybody's just going completely around this thing. Blake Stevens got it. Too easy. You know what's nice about him doing hats for the giveaways? I don't have to do anything now. My job's done. All right, cool. And I think the only person I don't know is Blake Stevens. So Blake, if you'll message me on Instagram at Tint'er3, that way I can at least get you over to Louis with Film Pros, and that way we can get your hat out. Otherwise, I'm not hunting down people. I am not hunting down people.
No, I know, because then you got to get addresses. Yeah. You got to package that up. Yes, yeah.
Oh man,
I know.
What's funny is there was one show that I did. I think it was one before Louis came on the show, and he was doing some hats on for giveaways, and someone never claimed it. No one claimed it. And I told everybody, I was like, all you gotta do is just reach out to Louis and they'll send you the hat. And he's like, dude, I'm holding on to this hat. And I'm like, I'm not going back to watch the show to see who won it. I did the show. That was my job. So all right, cool. I'm gonna take the chats off real quick. Dude, Matt, I can't thank you enough. I know you're a busy guy, and I know it's late, and I really appreciate you being on the show. But I will say this. I will ask one last thing: do you have any words of advice, wisdom, suggestions? Anybody out there that's either a Tint'er or even possibly getting into streaming, or just anything out there that you would like to leave for the audience?
Yeah, a couple little things. I would always, for those that are looking to get started into window tinting, just get some film, get some tools, get started with it. Don't try and overthink it. I even overplanned my own home garage way too much. So I knew how to tint, and then I was just like overplanning website and stuff. Just do what you can to try and get started as soon as you can, and then fail forward, because nobody's going to stop you. You can always figure out all the problems. You're always going to have problems to sort through. And then if you are already tinting, dude, TikTok is just wild right now. I pay a lot of attention to the way platforms like to serve video and stuff to people. And TikTok right now is an enormous opportunity. They're what like Facebook business pages used to be. Small businesses are jumping on there, and you do have to figure out how to make stuff that kind of hit with a little bit of a broader audience. But even if you're just live streaming right now, there's so many people that if you take the time to talk to people and like really interact with the people that are watching you while you're tinting a car, it's so easy. You can just do it on your phone, get a wireless mic, hook it up to your phone, and just start talking to people. And just the audience, the sheer amount of exposure you can get is just wild right now. So jump on TikTok. It's something that I should have jumped on sooner, but it's really, really cool right now where it is, and it's not going to be around like that forever.
Yeah, and I've always told people that, I mean, TikTok is almost turning into a search engine like Google. I mean, it really is. It's pretty wild how something like that is becoming not just a platform for people to show funny videos or anything like that. I mean, it's turning into advertisement. It's turning into search engines. I mean, it's pretty open right now, and now would be a great time for anybody to jump on. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, real quick. Sorry, I could talk about platforms way too much.
Yeah, go ahead.
But what's interesting is like the shift that I'm seeing is we didn't really start paying attention until like 4 or 5 months ago, really. But with short form, is what you're saying is like any of those like 10 to 15-minute videos that you would go to learn something now is in a bite-sized version on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook in the form of like a reel, a short, or a TikTok video. And the way that you can search on TikTok is what a lot of young people are doing, just like us millennials and boomers over on YouTube, right? We search videos, we'll sit there and watch a longer video, but now you can get bite-sized versions of that. So you really need to think now about those, like, even though it's like, how much can I say in a minute? Pay attention to how other people are making those, and those are the next shift. And like, people are just, convenience is king. So all those little shifts are happening right now. Pay attention to the short stuff. So it's hugely powerful.
Yeah, it's a big, man. Things change fast. They do. They change super fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Matt, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. I know you got a family to get to, and I know you've got work in the morning and stuff. But unfortunately, this is where I kick you off my show. So on that note, Matt, thanks for being on here. And it was absolute pleasure. I'm going to hit you up whenever you have time, because I got a couple of questions, if you don't mind giving me a little bit of advice. But on that note,
no problem.
Yeah, now, well, I'm great. Now get the fuck off. So there goes Matt. I even told him at the beginning of the show, I was like, I kind of kick people off. Is that all right? And he's like, yeah, man, we're cool. I was like, all right, just don't take it to heart. Don't take it to heart. I don't mean it personally. I don't. It's just been kind of part of the show since it's been going. So anyways, guys, go check it out. Go find him on YouTube. Go find him on TikTok. Go check out his website, everything. This guy is full of knowledge, and I'm pretty sure he would absolutely give out any kind of advice. And then awesome person. Love it. Absolutely love it. On that note, guys, that's it for this week. Whew, I made it through. I didn't faint seeing the famous guy on my show. I didn't do it. I didn't do the whole, anyways, that's it for this week. Next week, I have no idea what's going on. I really don't. I'll get there eventually. And I mean, it is what it is. That's it, guys. Tint'er Tuesday live right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great week. I'm out.